way that these cities, these cities legalize, or not legalize, because that's the incorrect term. They decriminalize like pissing in the streets, which used to be a thing, which was that was, under, you can say what you want about crazy Giuliani now. He could be kind of a nutbag now, but under Giuliani's, in Giuliani's fucking New York, man, you couldn't piss in the streets. Broken window policing works. I know that's like uncomfortable for some people.
Yeah.
But it does. And here, this one's actually, this is worth playing because this relates to what we're talking about. I think you'll like this. Well, you won't like it. You'll be mad about it.
Governor Gavin Newsom is expected to ask lawmakers in that state for $1.4 billion to fight homelessness. Of course, if the
1.4
billion to fight homelessness in one state
that he caused.
Governor gets his money, it will do nothing to reduce the incidence of homelessness. Nothing they've tried in that state has. Fundamentally, the state's authorities are unwilling to fix the core problem. In San Francisco, police inaction against crime and vagrancy has become so bad that heavily taxed locals are turning to private police. They're hiring their own. They have no choice.
Doesn't this sound like a futuristic movie where the rich have to hire
RoboCop
private police
type
for you?
shit, yeah.
That's the focus of tonight's episode in our
They're actually also called OCP.
week-long series, American Dystopia.
Yeah.
Okay, so look, this is the private police guy.
Hi, can I help you?
Meet Cody Clements, San Francisco patrol special. Clements isn't an ordinary cop. In
No, he's not.
fact, he's not a cop at all.
So we're patrol special police officers, yes. We are paid for by private businesses, merchants.
Hello? We spent 2 hours.
Got it.
He's a security guard.
Security guard.
Security guard.
I just love the way they keep trying to give him different names that don't break the law, but that make them sound as official as possible.
This is that Pat from Unagi? Someone just said.
Wow. Yes.
That's right. Homeless people. What are you gonna do?
Businesses, merchants.
Hello? We spent 2 hours riding along with Clements as he fielded call after call.
Probably 10
Mostly about the disrupted drug addicts who line the neighborhood sidewalks.
I talk to him every day, all day. I'm not forcing him to move, but I talk to him and encourage him to get to move. Paul Sam, 88
So you also can't do anything.
He's not allowed.
They're paying you to also do nothing.
Yeah, he's not allowed.
But that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's
The library, which they use as a day shelter.
Why are they recording?
He was accosted by this man.
Kind of protesting here if I wanted to, right?
Do you think you'll be homeless for the rest of your life?
Yeah, I think that's a choice.
It's your choice.
Yeah.
The Castro district is rich. Homes there cost as much as
I gotta listen. These little. This was a jab, right? There was no need to film.
No,
and edit
the
the
flag.
flag. No, being dicks. This was a tiny little. Didn't say anything.
but it's-
This is a. This was a. Look, I love it. I think it's hilarious. But that little thing, was a little dick move. It was great, but
rich. Homes there cost as much as $4 million a piece.
The residents
$4 million a piece.
that live on these streets, they pay for our service.
The area's richest residents.
Hey, Mike, what are those flags? More flags?
To be honest with you, though, it is San Francisco.
Nah, I know.
They're probably
Everyone's gay.
everywhere.
Voted to create a community benefit district. That's bureaucratic jargon for a private government to do jobs that San Francisco's city government won't do.
Some of the most common calls that I get from residents, somebody setting up a tent in front of my house, a homeless person going through our garbage with their making a mess.
The benefit district pays people to patrol the streets, clean up trash, and remove graffiti.
Now, in most cities, the city government would just provide that, right?
Yeah, in most cities they would.
But not San Francisco, where property owners are forced to pay mandatory fees to finance services the city
Full House is starting.
fails to provide.
Almost 40 years I've been here. It's the worst I've ever seen.
John Handlery runs a hotel near Union Square, which has its own community benefit district. His neighborhood has gotten so bad that he
It's poop. It's human poop.
routinely deals with horrified hotel guests.
They are troubled by the cleanliness, the fact that they at times don't feel safe seeing people who are sleeping on the sidewalks, and they're baffled.
Hello, how are you?
Not all San Franciscans are privileged enough to afford private policing.
No human feces, no garbage. We try to keep it pretty clean.
But since the city's prosecutors are unwilling
Listen to the. They're bargaining with these people.
Yeah, and of course, they can't make a move. There's nothing they could do. And when you talk to people in the city, like Gavin Newsom used to be the mayor of San Francisco before he became the governor, right? And the city was just shit. It was crap. And then he became, and they keep doing the same policies, right? Over and over and over again. The only reason people even care is because it's seeped into these rich neighborhoods. Because remember something, Not all of them, because, you know, I've tried to rein myself back to go, you guys deserve it, because there's a lot of people in California like, we didn't vote for this shit. We're just outnumbered about people that vote for it. But a lot of these people with their little pride flags and all that stuff, like, we got to help the homeless people. Just, you know, just not in my neighborhood.
And it's everywhere. Like, it's like, yeah, it's the worst. It's the worst ever here, but like, it's all over the place, man.
If you go to let's use Tampa. If you go to Tampa and your dog shits on the street, if you don't pick it up, you'll be fined $250. Humans are shitting on the street there, and it's fine.
Enforce the law. There's not much patrol specials like Clements can do.
Where do they go? They go to the next corner, and then you have to move them again. Nice to see you too. Thank you for being so nice, okay? It does get frustrating because, as you heard, you offer them services. They don't want services. A lot of them choose to be on the street because it's the lifestyle they like.
We're not talking about guy that was, you know, got fired from his job and used to wear a tie with a briefcase and go to work. We're talking about serial homelessness people. These are people that don't want to be anything but this. Look, of course, there's a couple people hard on their luck. I'm not saying that. I mean, I've known people that have been hard on their luck and they try to work their way back up. That's not what I'm speaking about, right? But what I am talking about, a lot of these people are either mentally ill, drug addicts, or both. Like, that's what you have.
Yeah.
So the way they fix it in San Francisco is also, you can't have a straw there, but they will give you free needles. You go to a needle place, they'll give you needles. So you inject, because instead of stopping the problem, which is the fucking rampant drug abuse and everything, because you shoot on the cop will go out by you in San Francisco and they don't arrest you if you're shooting up heroin on the streets, right? They'll get you if you're selling a big amount of it for the most part, but they don't care. They don't care, and they're ruining like the city, right? They're ruining not the city, a lot of cities. It's going to happen in New York next too. They're ruining these cities under the guise of being compassionate, but you're not being compassionate. You're doing the opposite. You're letting these people fucking die in the streets, you know? You're letting them die.
Problem is they're not even letting them die. I would almost be okay with that. I would almost be okay with them letting them die in the streets. But they're giving them just enough quality of life and just enough food and just enough treatment to keep them going in perpetuity until they're 90. Like we're going to have the first generation of like HIV positive, heroin addicted homeless people who live to be 70 or 80 because they can still get all the things they need. Like, trust me, I'd be okay if we were just letting them die in the street. Give everybody a nice fucking hot dose and get it over with.
Right.
It'd almost be better that way. But this isn't, it's like you said, people are choosing to live like this, and it's at the expense of others. And it's like, at what point is there a breaking point?
You know, it is, and you're right. This only started mattering when it started affecting the richer neighborhoods too, right? Like, this is when it started mattering, because a lot of these, you know, we talk about New York liberals, like which is like, we have a lot of money, but we have to feign caring. It's the same thing in California, in LA, and in San Francisco. It's this mentality of like, we have to help them, but not around me.
Yeah, of course.
Don't get away from. Can you believe? Because the problem is with a lot of these, not all of them, but with a lot of these people is they don't care if these people are setting up a tent in front of your middle class home, you know, in front of your apartment,
the old industrial areas.
They
and
don't
stuff.
care. That's fine, because those people are they see you all the same. You're all fucking trash. But the moment it's in front of their $4 million homes, all of a sudden they care. And the problem is they're doubling down on it. It's kind of like that whole thing where people. San Francisco is a great example of fighting the symptoms and not the disease. Right, $25 million they pay just to clean shit and needles off the street. $1.5 billion. They're asking for more federal money. They need more help. You're letting your own city fall apart, and I'm sorry. And then they tell you, because I actually saw Newsom the other day. Well, no, the real problem is there's just not enough housing. We need to build more housing. And then you start digging and you go, okay, but...
There's so many empty houses.
But then you start digging and then you go, but affordable housing. So why don't you build more houses then? Well, because, you know, the California environmental laws that they just passed don't allow you to build more houses. So they don't see that they're doing this to themselves, right? So then if there's a housing problem, if that's the reason there's all these homeless people, which is not the only reason, but fine, then why are you also a sanctuary city? Why are you bringing more people in if you can't even have people have homes, the people you already have. Why are you bringing more people in? It's this typical. California has a spoiled child mentality, you know, which is like they you give them and you give them and you give them, and they keep fucking up and they keep fucking up and they keep getting kicked out of prep schools and they kicked out of college, and you keep paying the dean and you keep bribing them, and eventually you go, well, you know what? Fuck you, I'm done. Like, we're done helping you. California gets a lot of federal assistance, and every time you talk to some people in California that are for this, they go, we're the third biggest economy. Yeah, you might be. But the problem is you're not making a profit. Like, you might be the greatest economy on the planet, but if you're it's simple economics. If you're spending more money than you're putting out, nobody cares. And by the way, the only reason you guys are the biggest economy is because of Silicon Valley. If Silicon Valley were all one day to go, we're going to Idaho, and hey man, I've seen shit like that happen. Go, we're done here. What you mean? I mean, we don't need to be in San Francisco. We could do the same thing in Idaho. The internet's just as fast there.
Yep.
And you know, it's going to cost us what, 1/10 of the price? What are we doing? I get a tax break if I move my business to Orlando. Let's go there. People are going to leave and then you're going to be left with this gaping hole. Now you're going to have no money. You're going to have all these homeless people. I think it's more cruel to allow this than it is to do something to help them. And what I mean to help them is that, number one, stop bringing in fucking Mexicans, illegal Mexicans, to take all the jobs at these. Because when people go, oh, that you hear all the time, Mike, I'm sure, which is like, oh, what's wrong? An illegal alien took your job? You must have had a shitty job. They're not taking my job. They're not taking his job. They're taking these people's jobs. These people that you see, these homeless people, these are the jobs that are being taken. These are the people that could use a leg up. And look, let's face it, a lot of them, these Mexicans come here, they have a strong work ethic, whether you want to admit it or not, you know, and they come and they take them. That's what's happening. So it's really hard. Like I said, I feel sympathy for places like North Dakota, Wyoming, places that have these like these drug epidemics that are going on, prescription. I do feel bad for them, right? I do, because they're like, this is fucked up. It was never this way. And they're passing laws to try to make it better. And they're fighting and they're trying. I feel bad for that. But I don't feel bad for California, or specifically San Francisco or LA. Like, I don't feel bad for these places. I can't. You guys are doing this to yourselves.
Yeah, they really, it's rough, man. It's really rough. It's only going to get worse. I think we should really push this as a meme. And try to get, like, anytime you see a homeless person, tell them San Francisco is the golden, it's the promised land. Mm-hmm. Tell all homeless people they get free money, they get free drugs.
Do it in Eric Cartman.
They get free everything.
Yeah, send them out there.
Let's start pushing all. You see a homeless guy, give him $5 tomorrow and go, hey, get the word out. You know where everybody's got it made right now, San Francisco.
Do all the drugs you want and this and that.
They give you free Suboxone, they give you free money, and you could just live out in the street. They don't even make you do anything for it.
If someone's like, please don't. The poor Californians that listen to our show are like, man, it's not our fault, bro. Come on, man.
Send them all.
Sorry, man. No. They're so mad.
Like the Army of the Dead, just send them all.
Yeah. All right. Let's read some of these here. New York City, Captain Henchman, New York City, thanks for the laughs, boys. Thank you, Captain Henchman, for living in New York City. Starman622, I watched 7 astronauts blow up on live TV when I was 10. The Challenger. This was a national tragedy. And within a week, I had a dozen jokes about it. These Lakers fans are pussies. Mexi Max and Cheese, all these progressive laws and ideology at the core are fighting natural pattern recognition. Pattern recognition in which is the basis of intelligence. They're literally trying to make people dumber. Yeah, I would